Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting edge conversations while exploring the quantum possibilities. It's the Wednesday show. It's Casual Wednesday, and Aage Nost and myself are here tonight with our amazing producer, Katie, and we're just going to have fun. Tonight, we're just going to have a conversation, and we're going to actually be talking about one of the 12 laws of the universe. But before we do, I'd like to invite you to connect with us. You can connect with us on Facebook, on our Broadcast Team Alpha page, of course, broadcastteamalpha.com, and you can connect with us at YouTube. You can please subscribe to our YouTube. It's so easy for me to say. My YouTube, our YouTube channel. And if you would like to know when we go live or when new shows are available, you have to hit that little bell in the upper right-hand corner. And if you're at YouTube, you may notice that there is a new function there for us, and it's called a super chat. And if you would like to support us that way, we would appreciate that. And if not, we just appreciate you being here. We appreciate you telling your friends about us. And we just appreciate all the good energy that you are flowing this way. So, hey, Aage, how's it going?
It is wonderful.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And can I say that again? It is wonderful.
Oh, my goodness. That's lovely.
Yeah. Because one of the reasons it is wonderful is because tonight or today or this morning, wherever you are in the world, I'm going to get to do something that I haven't done before, and that is to interview you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, you are.
we got to do more of this because I don't think we were thinking about it, but it never really happened. And now this is the first time we actually get to interview each other because there is so much to talk about, especially if I can talk about you.
Oh, Aage.
I
Just
yeah.
remember that there are laws to the universe and there is karma. So if you say anything, it might come back.
Oh,
Might come back at you. No, I'm just
oh,
kidding.
I'm gonna be so nice that it
You
almost
are?
yeah,
Aw,
yeah.
okay. All
And
right.
the thing about it is that I have an advantage over many of the other people out there listening because I've gotten to know you probably better than many of the other people. And that is why I can say some of the things that I'm going to say about you.
Well, that's true. Well, over the almost 2 years that we've been working together, we have certainly seen every aspect of each other's personality. That's a fair thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it
Well,
is.
well, here's the thing. I mean, after 2 years, life happens. You know, 2 years. A lot of things happen. People come and go in your life.
Yeah,
People die. People get married. I mean, there's just so much, that happens. Life happens. You get stressed. You get overwhelmed. You have joys. You have surprises, and the way that we deal with it is always up for grabs, right?
I know it is. And we have been subject to that too, but don't derail me here. I
Oh,
have
okay, all right.
something that I'm going to say about you. I want the listeners out there, you know, we see you on the radio shows and on videos. You are so lovely and you are so good when you talk and people learn a lot
Aw.
from you, but I want them to know a little more about your background. And I made a couple of notes here, some key words that I want to mention because you didn't put this together for me. So this is basically what I learned about you, and I want to
Okay.
say this. Uh, since Nori was a little girl, she's been dedicated to making a positive difference in the world. She has always been drawn to awakening consciousness in people and groups, and even now for the greater good of the world. Her professional journey has been an exploration on also realizing and grounding her calling in healing, entrepreneurship, innovation, writing. In fact, she wrote a book too, she hardly ever talks about. And also, she is coaching and healing artistry, she's very involved in. Nori has her RN degree and license that comes along with that. For some of us that may not know the term RN degree, that is registered nurse. And there is some very extensive medical education that goes along with, so that's why it is a degree. She is a double certified law of attraction coach and trained by some of the best in the world. She's a certified hypnotherapist, including past life regression she's dealing with. So anyone out there that is wondering what happened in 300 years in the past, give her a call. And she's also a Reiki master and a healer. She constantly seeks a closer walk with God and to know God, the source, deeper. This, along with the gifts of wisdom and spirituality, have inspired people who meet her to listen to her radio show and to get to know. Later in life, Nori she excelled in athletics and celebrated aerobic instructor and a successful personal trainer and an award-winning, would you believe it, law of attraction at work for this formerly obese girl from New York. How about that? She was overweight at one time. That's hard to believe. Now, some of Nori's mentors and teachers are featured teacher in the healer Evelyn, I know I'm going to butcher this name, Apostoliou. That's probably wrong, but maybe Nori can set me straight on that one afterwards. Nori has studied and practiced law of attraction since the late 1980s, actually about the time where maybe that term just surfaced and hardly anybody before that knew what it was. And she also had her life changed after being in the hot seat and working with Abraham through the legendary Abraham-hicks. And many of you out there will know who that is. And if you don't, Google it because you need to know. Nori's mission now is to assist others to increase well-being. This is her saying that she uses a lot. She wants to increase well-being on all levels for all people.
Well, thank you.
You're so welcome. And
without sweet.
Now you guys don't need to hear from me anymore. I want to hear from Nori.
Oh my goodness, I'm not even sure where to start after all that. So, so you did a pretty good job with Evelyn's name. Her name is Evelyn Apostoliou, and Apostoliou, and she's got Quantum Edge Healing Institute, and she's one of the greatest healers of all time. I mean, just amazing. I have been so blessed, I mean, truth be known, right? We're talking law of attraction, to somehow, have attracted these people into my life. Just phenomenal. And, being in the hot seat with Abraham, and it was right outside of DC, actually. It was in Bethesda, and I was in the hot seat, and I didn't really know I would, do that. But Abraham, Esther was channeling Abraham, and the energy in the room was phenomenal. And all of a sudden, I had a burning question. I mean, literally a burning question. And I raised my hand, didn't even know I was going to do it. And Abraham said, "Okay, you." I was like, whoa. And when I sat in the chair and experienced the energy by virtue of the eye contact, right, that Esther was putting forth, I mean, I almost felt like it was like a force. It was like a force, a gentle, loving force that almost pinned me to the chair. I mean, and it
That
was
was Abraham.
that was Abraham. And it was just amazing. And literally it changed my life, the interaction that I had with them and the things that they said to me. And when I left that seminar, I walked outside and everything looked different. Colors were more bright and vibrant. The birds sounded different. Just life in and of itself sounded different. And they said something to me that inspired me to do a complete 180 on my life. And so when I say that it was life changing, it literally was.
Wow.
Literally amazing. Yeah, yeah. So to have attracted them into my life, I'm like, whoa, yeah, I was doing something right.
I have been watching quite a few of the videos that Esther Hicks is doing,
Hmm.
and it is phenomenal when you see people in the hot seat and
Hmm.
see they may walk away and wonder, did I really say that, or did this really happen?
It's I've been to many of their workshops, and for all of the other ones that I've been to, I've never had to ask another question. Even if I had like the glimmer of a question in my mind, inevitably somebody will ask your question.
Hmm.
It's just the way energy works. And I actually I went on an Alaska cruise with them. And
Ooh,
yeah, that was amazing. Just, spend a week with Abraham. I mean, how does it get better than that?
oh,
So yeah, so law of attraction's just been a huge part of my life. Law of attraction was a part of my life when I was an obese girl, growing up in New York. And somehow I knew that if I could get a vision of the way that I wanted my body to be, and if I could hold on to that vision for 30 days, I have no idea where I picked 30 days from, that somehow, it would begin to happen. And really, those are some of the basic tenets of law of attraction,
yeah,
desire, and then feeling into what you are desiring to create. So I was practicing it before I even knew that existed. So I just feel very kindred with everything about this particular universal law.
yeah. And when we were talking before the show, actually yesterday, when you were saying something like, this is all law of attraction at work
It
for this
was.
obese girl,
Well,
then
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuck in my mind. So I wrote that down, and I had to say that
yeah,
because some
yeah.
of the things that you have drawn to you
Mhm.
using law of attraction, like, how can it get any better than Bob Doyle, one of the speakers on The Secret? And
Seriously.
you got trained by him.
I did. It was, I mean, it was an intimate group. It was not a big, 4,000 students kind of training. It was an intimate group. And and I have the blessing in my life to call him a friend now.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Oh, I,
amazing.
I gotta say something.
Yes.
Broadcast Team Alpha, folks, you listeners out there, we love you. Go to the YouTube Broadcast Team Alpha and listen to our show when Nori interviews Bob Doyle.
Yeah. We did interview Bob.
This, yes, we did.
Yeah, he's amazing.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing about it is that what she learned from Bob Doyle, she can also teach you,
Mm.
any one of you out there listening to this. So that's why I'm saying I have been on two of her coaching sessions,
Oh, my classes too.
yeah, classes that
Mhm.
she's teaching, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've been around a good long time too, and I learned from her. So I tell you, this is something you should consider
that's
because
amazing. And then
it is,
that's a
yeah,
huge compliment, because you have a lot of experience in this. And for you to have expanded your knowledge, your understanding, your experience, whatever of it, is a huge compliment. So thank you. Yeah, I
Well, you're
appreciate
so
that.
welcome. And of course, I have another advantage too, is that we talk just about every day.
Yes, we do.
And I always learn from you. You,
Aw,
there may not be something that you know about, but there are pearls in there. And I'm
well,
a digger. I can dig out a pearl anywhere.
you're a digger. That's so funny. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. Mhm.
And now we've been talking about law of attraction, and
Mhm.
the concept of the words
Mm.
is not totally understood to a lot of people. They know, okay, law of attraction, that's something that we draw to us, but gosh, how do we do that? Could you maybe go into a little deeper about what actually law of attraction is? Is it something that we attract by things we say through words, or is there a language that
Mm.
we can use by maybe
Yes.
emotions and other things that draws this to us? I want to listen to the expert here. I'm
Mm.
all ears.
I'm gonna fall off the pedestal. Um, so a lot of first, I'm gonna ask everybody to just suspend your disbelief for a few minutes, right? You can pick it back up at the end of this show, but I'm just asking you to just go with me with like a what if, with what if, remember when you were little and we used to play what if, or imagine this. So if you could just like slide into that space with me while I explain, or just journey with you, on the law of attraction. Law of attraction is always working. It's always working every minute of the day, every second, every hour. And this may sound a little funny, and it may expand for you over time when you think about this at another time, but law of attraction is always working. Even if you think it isn't, then you're right. And it's
Mhm.
working. Law of attraction is not, it is like attracts like, right? But it's not necessarily like a magnet. It's not, okay, the magnet's going to, pull metal to it and it's going to repel another. It's not necessarily like that. It's that which we focus on, and that which we focus on consistently, that which we focus on with emotion, we draw more of that to us. So you might say, well, I have all of this ridiculous stuff going on in my life. You're telling me that I'm creating that? I'm here to tell you, yes. And I was the biggest and loudest person saying those exact words, because I was like, oh my God, my life hurts. Everything is painful about my life. Everything is drama and trauma and painful. And I was drawing that to me because I didn't know that you that I, because of some circumstances and experiences that I had in early life, that even though there were some good things happening, life went on, good things, spring came, the flowers were blooming, the birds, this early trauma, and difficulty stayed with me, so that there was a part of me that was always thinking about it. There was a part of me that was always reliving the pain. There was a part of me that was afraid that it was going to happen again. And until, right, back when I met, Bob Doyle, because a lot of this shifted for me then, um, I didn't really realize that those tapes were constantly rolling. So everything that I didn't want it so much that I was focusing on it with such great emotion, like, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, please don't make that happen, that I was drawing more of it to me. So the way to begin to shift that is, you notice that you're not getting what you want in life. You're not attracting the things that you hope that you want to attract. So that means that there's some things that you need to shift. And it can be done in many ways. It can be done by beginning to intentionally focus on the things that you want and that you love. Um, so so Aage, yes, there are words, there are emotions, there are um, um, things that you can do. But the most important part of all of that is that you tip the balance of thinking and focusing on the things that you really, really want in the good feeling place of the emotions more, right? You tip the balance more toward what you want and less of what you don't want. Like you don't get rid of what you don't want by attacking what you don't want, right? You don't go in to conquer it. You get rid of what you don't want by replacing it with what you do want. So it's that which we give attention to with emotion, and and the emotions, are up to you. What emotions make you feel the best, right? Gratitude is great, but if you're digging up old stuff going, wow, I cannot believe this, this really icky, tangled, messy, dipped in peanut butter and tar clump of negativity in my life is here. How am I going to undo that? It makes me feel so bad just to know it's there. Then you can't go, oh God, I'm so grateful because the sun's out. You might not be able to do that. And if that's true, then an easier thing to do would begin to learn how to move into a state of just being neutral. So that's eventually getting to the point where you can look at that big, dipped in tar and peanut butter tangled mess of whatever, and not be triggered by it, not be emotional. When you become neutral about it, then you're tipping the scale again in favor of what you want. So I think I went off on a
Mm.
tangent, Aage.
Well, you were a little side road, but you were parallel to the real road. So I think you got away with it.
Okay.
What I'm thinking, peanut
Hmm.
butter and tar, that's a good one. uh, Many of us, we think like maybe the gate to higher consciousness is through meditation. How would you say, how would you encourage people to maybe do meditation to set the mind so that it is easier to give the input from words and thoughts we have into from the brain into the mind and set the picture of what we want? Would you actually think that we need to go through meditation to be good at the law of attraction, or is it a path without meditation?
No, you don't have to be, and I wouldn't even want to scare people off with that. You don't have to be good at meditation. Some of the most powerful law of attraction creators that I have seen in my life didn't even believe in law of attraction. But they just happen to be really good at getting clear, bam, on what they want, getting focused, bam, on what they want, and constantly staying focused, looking for the path that's going to bring them toward whatever they want sooner. They didn't ever meditate. Now, if you meditate and you can use that as a tool to quiet your mind and then use visualization, absolutely, that will completely enhance, or accelerate law of attraction. But most people where the um, where the extra focus needs to be put is on consistency,
Yeah.
because it's really easy to get up in the morning and be all excited, and I'm a big proponent of, especially in the beginning, is intention, right? You create your intention, you get really clear on what you want, and then you create your intention. And so I want, and here's the trick, and this was something that the secret kind of I misrepresented it a little bit, right? Because you're like, I want a red car. Boom, a red car falls in your lap. It doesn't happen that way. When you're crafting your intention, when you're getting clear on the desire, right, of what you really, really, really want, you go past the metal and the leather of the new car, although you'll use that later to help you get into the feeling place of it. But you get past that and you go into, how do I want that red car to make me feel? How do I want that relationship to make me feel? How do I want $500,000 in the bank to make me feel? I want to feel safe. I want to feel confident knowing that I can get from point A to point B, that I can go cross country if I want. I want it. I like it because it makes me feel um, assured that I'm going to go to work and that's going to continue my livelihood. So you get into the feeling place of it, right? $500,000 in the bank makes me feel safe. It makes me feel secure. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel comfortable knowing that I can provide for my family. When you get into the essence of the feeling of what you really want and you forget about the physical manifestation of it, when you play in the essence of it, that's actually when the distance between you and that thing begins to close in and get closer and closer. So you don't have to meditate and, envision the red car the whole time. I mean, and that's really not necessarily what's going to connect you to the energy of it, because we're talking about vibration. So if you could imagine, you might not even, you know have a way to quantify vibration, but everything vibrates. Everything has a vibratory rate. So if you could just imagine, make it up in your mind, right? Make it up in your mind. What would the frequency of a red car be? Well, it'd be a really nice red car. It'd probably be a pretty high vibration, right? So you imagine what that vibration is, and then just imagine, it might not make sense to you at this moment. Imagine that you have to match that vibration in your being. So does that mean that you don't get all balled up over traffic? Because, right, if you get mad and you're flipping people off in traffic, is your vibration going to be the same vibration as what you want? Probably not. Right? Right?
No, not at all.
So although meditation is a wonderful thing, and in an advanced setting you can really, really use that, it's just as good for you to sit down and write out, your intention as if you have it. Um, or write your intention in the form of an I am statement. And in the beginning, you might only be able to read your I am statement, right? To read your intention. And that would be enough. You're beginning to shift the balance of energy so that you're going to begin the manifesting process. Actually, all you have to do is change your thoughts, right? Change your thoughts. To change your thought frequency, to change the vibration of your thought closer to that thing that you want to manifest, right? The essence of that thing that you want to manifest. You only have to change your thoughts for 68 seconds. 68 seconds at a time to begin the manifestation process. And that's classic Abraham-Hicks. And you don't even have to do it on the thing that you are intending. Like, okay, I want the red car. You don't have to think about something beneficial or beautiful about the red car for 68 seconds, although you can think about anything for 68 seconds that makes you feel good. Oh my God, I love my cat. I cannot believe how much I love my cat. I love its little pink paws, and I love when it purrs, and I love when it mushes on my stomach. And then I love my dog, and my dog is so cute. I love when he gets the ball and he does that thing. And I love my bed. I love my pillow, and I love the color of my blanket. Okay, so that was more than 68 seconds, and it had nothing to do with what you wanted to manifest. But that vibration of loving all those things is putting you closer to the vibration of anything that you can desire. And that is moving you toward the manifestation of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Let me run this one by you. My interpretation of what you said is basically, I just happen to have a red car sitting in the front yard,
Do
so
you?
so I'm happy there.
Bam, bam.
Yeah, that was boy, that was quick, Nori.
That was quick.
Um,
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is that basically there is a term out there say fake it until you make it. With other words, if you don't have a red car, if you really want one, get in it. Go down to the dealership, test drive one, so now you know what it feels like. Every so often, put yourself in your mind in the seat of that car, drive it down the road, feel the new car smell, and just live it before you have it. And do that as often as you can, because that
Right.
emotion, that is worth its gold.
Right, right. And you can do that in your mind. You can imagine that in your mind. But here's the thing. If if going to the dealership doesn't feel good to you, if thinking about going to the dealership makes you go, I don't even know why I'm going to go there. I don't have the money for this. I'm never going to, right? If you get into that place, then you need to focus on feeling good, right? To get into a higher vibration on something else, because you're meeting with resistance if you're not feeling good about it. And like Abraham-Hicks says, you cannot put a happy sticker on an empty gas tank. So it's really important. And we call that contrast. We call that resistance. If you really, really want to do something, it could be a career, it could be a great work of art, it could be this incredible job, right? It could be becoming your own employer. It could be an entrepreneur, a singer, a speaker, a great parent, a great sister, a great brother, a great relationship, a great marriage, all of those things. If you really, really desire those things and you're meeting with that kind of resistance that balls you up, that would be a good indication that you might want to work with a coach. So you hear life coach and you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with my life. Well, there probably isn't anything wrong with your life. But if you want something extraordinary in your life, and you're understanding that you're meeting with resistance and you're running into a brick wall every time you try to go toward that thing that you really desire, then that would be an indication that you might consider working with a coach. And my coaching practice is based on law of attraction. And the thing that I love about that is that no matter what it is, if it's a really scary, big, traumatic thing that evokes you to tears every time you think about it, the beauty of working with law of attraction is that we whittle it down to energy. So it's not a big, scary, painful thing anymore, because now we're looking at it and we're navigating it based on energy, based on the emotional vibrational scale. So you can get yourself out of that feeling of drama and trauma that knots you up and totally moves you away from that thing that you want. And you can begin to work on it with a neutral perspective.
I think too that something that is would look to me be very important is that first of all we gotta develop this emotion of either love or attraction or emotion in our mind, and then we try to match the vibration with what we want, because we visualize it. When you visualize when you visualize something, you get drawn towards the vibration of it. So
Right,
I
right. And
think those two people are, some people are much better at this than
well,
me, or yeah.
some people are better at it, and you happen to be good at it. But if it's something that knocks up people's energy, that they want it so bad that it makes them cry, or they want it so bad that it angers them because they just can't get it, they're not going to be able, nobody's going to be able to slide into appreciation or slide into love about that. And that's where you need other tools and other processes to back you away from that emotion, so that the emotion can begin to be replaced replaced by lesser emotional, good feeling things. That's why thinking about your cat or petting your cat can be equally as good as thinking about how much you love that thing that you want to get.
Absolutely.
So,
And
you're talking about, like the advanced practice of it, which you can get to. You can totally get to that. But in the beginning, that could sound really, really overwhelming.
yeah, and some of these things are not necessarily easy. That's why it takes a little practice.
And they're not easy, but they can be fun.
Yeah.
And people are in my group. I have the group on Facebook. It's called Body, Mind, Spirit, and Soul Fusion, and we play games in that group. We had a 30-day gratitude challenge, and it was so much fun. And we just had a 21-day mindfulness extravaganza, and I I want it to be fun. And
Yeah.
we had a tool called the butt bump check-in. So I mean, how serious is that? Right? There's nothing serious about that, because I want people to have fun. So even though it might not be easy, and I'm not saying that you're not going to come up against some old stuff that needs to be up leveled, because you will, but it can be a lot easier, you know um, a lot smoother, a lot less painful than it would be. Yeah. So that's why I use tools, and I use fun, and I
Yeah.
use humor, like, all the time.
Yeah. And also, Nori, you mentioned that place on Facebook. I want at least twice during the show here, I want you to tell people where they can get a hold of you. So could we do that now, and then we'll do it at the end of the show again?
Yeah, sure. So you can come join the group, right? So if you want to kind of get a little, teaser, get a tester. It's just a really friendly group. It's called Body, Mind, Spirit, and Soul Fusion, and that's on Facebook. And you can come, you can lurk, we just finished up a game. We finished up that game, and we'll probably be starting another one in the not too distant future. Of course, you can find me on Facebook. I have Coaching with Love, Hypnotherapy with Love, and then I have a Reiki Temple group that you can come join, and you find out when distance Reiki is being held every week, and you can receive Reiki. And my new website is in the process of being um, made live right now as we speak, and that's everythingconscious.com. Everythingconscious.com. And you can also reach me personally at norilovemail@gmail.com.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. And I would say for the people out there that have an ailment, go ahead and get over to Reiki Temple on Facebook. I'm a member there, and I think you should be too. That doesn't matter what your ailment is. If you have anything from a severe thing to just a bad hangnail, just go ahead and join and have fun.
Well, the thing that's coming up a lot in the Reiki group is a lot of people are stressed right now. A lot of people
Yeah.
are overwhelmed right now. A lot of people are, in fear, or just uncomfortable, and a lot of people are getting benefit, on an emotional or an anxiety level. Although there is a picture of the most amazing little Shih Tzu in the Reiki temple right now, and he had a Reiki weekend with me. I mean, when we started, he was having a GI bleed. His stomach was bleeding on Friday when I got him, and by Sunday his stomach was no longer bleeding, and he was so lethargic, when and he was just, he was weak. He was tired, and I was a little concerned. But after a full Reiki weekend, he's eating and running and playing, and he's back to himself 100%. So I
Mhm.
love working on animals, because they don't get their judgment in the way. They're just like, oh yeah, I want to be well. Thank you.
And Nori, you are a Reiki master, and you do
Mhm.
give treatments, and you help people with that. Let's talk a little bit about Reiki in
Mhm.
addition to what we have done so far, because this is something I just happen to know enough about it to know that it's real and it's working. And what do
Yeah.
you suggest to say?
Well, I mean, Reiki is life force energy, and people who become Reiki practitioners get attuned so that they um, they essentially become a conduit, if you will, like the energy, Reiki energy, life force energy is available to everybody. Um, so if you're sick and you're in pain, you probably can't quiet yourself enough, like to get into that meditative state to be a vibrational match, right? To receive that kind of energy. So the way that I like to explain it is that, I kind of hold the space for you. I hold the space for you so that the life force energy comes down, essentially flows through me to you. It's not my energy, it's not woo woo, it's not Satan, it's just life force energy that is available to all of us. And it can be it can happen locally, like in person, or it can be done at a distance. And I have phenomenal testimonies. I have testimony from a Western trained MD who would call me or text me and say, I'm out of the country and I got sick on the plane. Can you please do distance Reiki? So he is one of my best testimonies.
I'm not so sure that's the best one, Nori, because we didn't talk about this, and I wasn't planning to talk about it, but I'm going to. And that is that I
Oh,
have a very good friend over in Nebraska. His daughter got sick with some of I think it is the worst kind of cancer you can get, pancreatic cancer.
stage
And
4, stage 4.
yeah, and the doctor had told her basically that, nothing I can do, so go on home and take care of yourself. And she went to another doctor and she got a little different medicine from him. But, the medicines you get from a regular doctor when it comes to something like that, it's just as good as dog food, what I'm concerned.
Oh, oh,
But you were working with her.
I still work with her, yeah.
Yeah. And she is now in total remission. She is up and she feels good.
She feels good. And she had some physical manifestations of it on her body. She had this really big
Yeah.
thing on her body, and now that big thing is like just barely a mark. So I am in awe of her, and I am humbled, to have been part of the team,
Yeah.
the team effort, that worked with her. But truth be told, she attracted that healing to her, and it wasn't easy. She had to undo a lifetime of vibrational, habits, to get in alignment with that well-being. So this is a great example.
Yeah.
Here she was in, mired in dis-ease, and she wanted wellness, she wanted well-being. So she had a team of people, including myself, who, when she would go down, the fear or the terror or the anger or the pity road, she would contact one of us and we would help her, to guide her thoughts into a more neutral place so that her vibration would raise, to the vibration of well-being. And she literally drew that well-being to her. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I talked to her dad about actually 4 days ago now. And he said that when she went back to the doctor last time, he was totally dumbfounded. He
I
said,
love it.
I don't know how it happened, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it, is
Oh,
basically what he told her.
I love it. I love it. And, not to leave out God, because I am a Trinitarian. God was a very big part, of my work with her. We prayed together. I prayed for her, in addition, to working with her with law of attraction and Reiki. So she had all the big guns. Absolutely. But the
Yeah.
thing, okay, I just want to go back for a minute about law of attraction, because we were talking about the red card dropping into our lap. And um, there's a thing about law of attraction that isn't discussed so much. It's being discussed more because people are asking for it. I mean, back in the 80s, nobody talked about law of attraction except when you played a beginner's Abraham-Hicks cassette tape, right? You'd be sitting in somebody's living room with 10 or 12 people, and you'd listen to the newest, cassette tape of Abraham-Hicks. And inspired action. So, inspired action is the action that you take that is going to move you in the direction of feeling closer to what you want. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Inspired action, that's just getting the good idea and then decide on that idea and sitting down and working out that idea in your head and in your mind, and then go doing something.
Right. And inspired action comes from a place of the quiet inner still voice. Many of us, and I, classic example through my whole life. I'm an Aquarian with Aquarius rising. I'd get an idea and bam, want to go do it. I just want to go be about that idea. I want to get it started. It's a creative project. Inspired action isn't really loud and bam and colors and fireworks. It's more that little inner voice that, you're just leisurely strolling through the grocery store, and that voice says, hey, you want to do this? How about this? Or that quiet voice that goes, this is literally how my book came to me, because I was, here's law of attraction example. My book, whatever my intention was, my book, came with ease, joy, and glory, and it's blessing people around the world. So that was probably something like what my intention was, and I would say it over and over and over, try and move into the feeling place of it. Well, I was driving from Maryland to Virginia, and flat out on a busy highway. I don't know if it was 13 or 95. I don't even know what highway it was. I was so inspired that I had to pull over, and all I had was one of those little notebooks that we used to write our homework assignments on. Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting every word of my book, and I'm drawing the figures, because it's a full color book, with figures and graphics. I'm drawing the figures and stick figures, and I sat on the side of the road for a couple of hours until I finished, doing the shorthand version of this book. And that's how it came. So inspired action will likely come during a time that's different than any other action that you've taken before, because it's that deep inner voice. And there's a certain sense of just a certain sense of solidity, like dependability, boy, this is real, that you get, that you want to follow it.
Yeah, it can come that quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some people call them downloads, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. Could we talk a little bit about hypnosis also?
We could. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, you do past life regressions. You do hypnosis for people that want to maybe clear out a few things in their mind, or find good things in there that is hidden away that they cannot quite get their hands on, and whatever else you can do with hypnosis, because I've been doing this hypnosis for a long time, and I know there are phenomenal solutions in there. And we have talked about that, and I know some of the people that you worked with. You cannot tell me names, of course, because privacy, but some of the results are phenomenal of what you have done. So maybe you could talk about that just a little bit.
Sure. And in keeping with everything that we've talked about, one of the reasons that I love hypnosis is, if you haven't pieced it together yet. I'm not a big fan of going back, into the trauma or into the past painful experiences and reliving them in order to clear them. Like, I don't believe that you have to go back and do the primal scream, of when you were first born. You don't have to. You don't have to have more pain in order to clear pain. So the thing that I love about hypnosis is that your subconscious mind, whether you want to, heal from something or clear a memory, your subconscious mind takes you on a beautiful journey. It's not necessarily going back, to the minute that thing happened to you. Your subconscious mind speaks to you in the most beautiful ways, and it's symbolic and it's colorful, and you may come out of the I'll give you a great example. I did a hypnosis session with somebody, and the message that he got from his subconscious mind was chocolate basketball.
Wow.
Right? So here this man is in a trance, and I'm like, okay, and go ahead and receive your message. And there he is, in trance, his eyes are closed, and he goes, chocolate basketball. And literally, I had to put my hand over my mouth because it was the funniest thing I have ever heard. And I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see what it is. And neither of us knew what it was at that moment. But later down the road, like a month later, something happened in his life that made that symbolism made sense to him, and he got the result that he was looking for. So your subconscious mind, I mean, I had one lady that was in, imaging, visualizing being in a forest. And in the forest, this deer came up to her, and this deer gave her a message. And you would think, well, isn't that cute? And that's very lovely. And that's very nice, Nori. But, how is that going to heal me? But the symbolism behind it shifted the pain out of the way of what she was trying to heal and up leveled it. And that thing that she came in with at the end of the session, she never had it again. That pain completely cleared it.
Wow.
The other thing, talking about hypnosis related to law of attraction, is, and this is something I do with a lot of clients, and this is something that I even do in the Body, Mind, Spirit, and Soul Fusion group. We go on these guided imageries, and if you go on a guided imagery to meet your future self, even if it's you in 6 months from now, and that you 6 months from now has that thing that you want, law of attraction, it's gonna remove the resistance that is between you and it right now, and bring the manifestation of it quicker.
Now that makes sense.
Doesn't it? It does.
Yep. Absolutely.
It does.
Yeah. It's almost like an image of a time travel where you go out and meet yourself.
Exactly. And if you can do that by yourself every morning, great. You're going to manifest that thing that you want, quickly. Or maybe you need somebody to work with, or maybe you want to do it through hypnosis. The thing that I want people to know about law of attraction more than anything, is that you have the power to do whatever you want. I mean, I was more than 210 pounds, and I couldn't even get a glimmer of the way that I would look if I were not that, because I didn't know anything else. But I could imagine what it might feel like not to have my thighs rubbed together. And I began there. And once I got accustomed to that, then I could get an image of the way that my arms are going to look, and then the rest of my body, until I had a full vision of my body, of me walking on the beach with long hair and white shorts. And eventually that 220, 200 and whatever pound girl ended up walking on the beach of Virginia Beach with long hair and white shorts. And she was like a size 6. So You can do whatever it is that you want. I mean, there was a time I was so sick. I was incredibly sick. And I just kept focusing on the feeling of wellness and well being. And I used law of attraction to bring that to me as well. So, whatever it is, even if it's something that you like, oh my God, I can't even talk about that, or if it's a recent breakup, or the grief from your pet that died, grief from somebody that you loved so deeply, like those things can be stumbling blocks in the way of your forward progression in life.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that there are so many ways for you to heal that and to move forward and to live the life, right? To be you full out and to live your life in the well being that you really want to live it.
Yeah, everything starts in the mind.
It
And that's
does.
why I encourage everybody listening out there, protect your mind. Don't hang around negative people so much as you've done before. Don't watch negative TV programs and movies and stuff.
Mhm.
Start guarding what you put into this little computer you got at the top of your skeleton. And
Mhm.
just start thinking positive and go to Nori's Reiki Temple and the others that she mentioned on
Body, mind, spirit, and soul fusion group on Facebook, and
yes,
and I
yes.
and just want to, and I love what you're saying, Augie. I just want to add to that because you might be thinking, well, what do I have to do? Do I have to monitor my thoughts 24 hours a day? And you don't. And here's a tip that I would like to leave you with. Notice the way that you feel. If you're watching a TV show and your fists are balled up and your neck is tight, you don't feel good. Think about what you can do to feel good in that moment. It might be to change the station to a comedy. If you're with a friend, air quotes, right, who is always complaining, always ripping up somebody, always, being negative, saying mean things about people, notice how you feel in that moment. Are you tense? Is your stomach tight? Are you uncomfortable? Well, then that's impacting your energy. So you can actually figure out what you're thinking by noticing the way that you feel and always moving into the direction of feeling better. Right. We all have that one friend that we love to be with, that you can get so comfortable. You can like scoot down on the couch, having a conversation with that person, put your feet up and just be so comfortable. Always go in the direction of that. And then you know that your thoughts are in the higher energies, in the higher vibrations.
Absolutely.
Aw, thank you, Augie.
And one more time,
Yeah.
what's your email and where can they get a hold of you again?
My email is norilovemail@gmail.com. And my website, hopefully, it might not be up tonight. There was some technical snafus going on. It's everythingconscious.com. Everythingconscious.com.
Okay, that sounds good. In fact, I got a text from the tech and he says, hopefully up by mid-show. So
Okay.
he
All
just
right.
might, yep.
All right, and there's all kinds, my whole intention from my overall life is to help others increase well-being. So that's why I do what I do. That's why I coach law of attraction style. That's why I do Reiki. That's why I do hypnotherapy. I do that because that increases people's well-being. But also on my site, you're going to find some products and some free things to help increase your well-being. So, Augie, my vibration is raised for having this conversation with you. Thank you.
Oh, I am already high.
Okay, let's manifest something quick.
Okay, okay, I got it.
So we'll be back next week here on the Wednesday show, and you'll also be able to find us. So we are manifesting new things. You will be able to find us Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on KCOR Radio, and we're just trying to get the message out to as many people as possible. So we're just expanding our platform. So whether it's here or there, we hope to see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Aage.
thank you, Nori. This was so much fun. We need to do this
Aw.
again.
All right, that's a deal.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, folks. And next week, be good to each other.